All right, looks like we're live.
Hey everybody, it's Bob Senk, and I'm a real estate coach, and I'm here today with a gentleman who went from 37 transactions to, or excuse me, 47 transactions to 77 transactions in 1 year, working less in his business. That's right, working less time, spending less time in his business, but also making far more profit per transaction. And we're going to get to hear how that was done and how I was able to help him to take his business to another level. So on with me today is Kyle Micklejohn, and Kyle's up in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. He's a terrific agent and team leader. And welcome, Kyle. Thanks for being on today.
Hi, thank you for having me, Bob.
Also on with us today is kind of our moderator and a friend of mine, so far, Sean Lyman. He's a fellow real estate zealot, and I'll tell you, this guy's really got it. He's a former broker and owner, and he's a big-time internet marketer. So thanks for joining us and agreeing to moderate this today, Sean.
Good to be here, guys.
Great, great. So, hey, Sean, why don't you just take it away, and let's get started with this case study and find out how Kyle was able to do this so quickly and, quite frankly, with, it sounds like some ease.
All right, sounds good. Kyle, you know, the framework here, the ground rules, you know, we're going to keep it pretty simple. You know, we're going to start out, if you could just share with the audience, you know, give us about maybe a 5-minute quick story or overview of how you actually got into real estate, and then, you know, how long you've been in real estate. And then also we'll talk about, you know, kind of what you were doing in your business to do the 47 transactions, and then what changed and kind of how you got to do the 77. And you know how much less you're working in your business now. So you're just gonna, you know, I'll ask you some questions, and if you could just share your story and step through, you know, kind of step by step how you got to more transactions, more profit, you know, less time in your business. Does that sound fair?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So if you could just start off by introducing yourself. What market you're in, how long you've been in the business, and then really how did you get into this business?
Okay. Well, my name is Kyle Micklejohn. I have my own real estate team and brokerage out of Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. Kind of in the heart of the oil and gas industry for Canada, I guess. So my story is, I guess, when I was 17 years old, my father was a real estate broker in a small town I grew up 3 hours away from here. When I was 17 years old, I made the decision right then. It's funny, look back at it now, but I was going to work in the oil and gas industry till I was in my mid-30s. Then my plan was I'm going to get into real estate. I'm going to be a big realtor. And I stuck with it. And I had a great career in the oil patch as a frac supervisor for a big oil company out there. Traveling all over North America, but I stuck with my goals and got my real estate license while I was working on the road, and here I am, right? So I got my real estate license when I was 34, got into real estate, you know, and just figured it would be easy, and it wasn't off the start, right? So here I am 8 years later. You know, it took me a couple years to figure out I needed help, right? Needed coaching, so I started getting coaching and whatever over the years, and you know, I never gave up. You know, I've had struggles with things like money problems. I've hit rock bottom. I've had to change my lifestyle, you know, a lot to get to where I am today. I just never seen light at the end of the tunnel, and you know, I have now the last year, right? And things are changing drastically for me. But the key.
So how long have you been in the business?
8 years.
8 years. This is your 8th year?
Yeah, this is my 8th year exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and then how did you meet Bob?
I met Bob through another coaching program. He was in it as well. I was in it for a couple of years, and what happened with me is I kind of dropped out of that one a couple of years ago, just kind of took a break with everything, and I knew Bob from that, and I liked the stuff that he was introducing to it, and I really followed his stuff more than actually the coach's stuff at the time. So And then what happened last year, I seen Bob marketing he started a coaching program. I seen it on Facebook, and I really did this. I was laying in bed just flipping through my iPad and seen it, and I went and signed up that 5 minutes later with my credit card. So because I knew his stuff, right, and I was excited about it. And
that was early 2014, right?
Yeah, early, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And can you share with us? So you started with Bob. Share with us, how that kind of started, and then when stuff like kind of really started happening for you.
Well, okay. So when I first started with him, I got a lot of his tools and stuff. He didn't give me everything, but it started off slow because it's overwhelming and you don't know where to start, and you got to get pictures for this and that, and it just took me some time, and we had 4 months or something of coaching calls. Finally, Bob said he was going to fire me if I wasn't going to get to work. So I thought, oh my God, that would suck.
That's really a true story. I know everybody, you might find that hard to believe, but that really is a true story. We started in January of 2014, and we were having a good time and catching up, and I don't believe in giving the coaching members everything at once because you get just overwhelmed. So piecemeal at the cow, and he's just enjoying the conversation. We're just having fun talking. And finally, I think it was May, right? May of 2014.
Yeah.
I finally said, "Hey, Kyle, I just can't do this anymore. I like you. You're a great guy, but you're not doing anything. You're not putting this into place, so I'm going to fire you."
Yeah.
That's when he got serious.
Yeah, then he did put it that way exactly. I'm going to fire you if you don't get to work here. It's like, oh my God, I got to get to work. I don't want to get fired. So then I got to work, and I just needed that little push, right? Because I was just comfortable talking on the phone once a week, and I guess, I don't know, just avoiding the extra work, or whatever it was. I don't know.
So share with us when you actually started working or implementing.
Okay, so that would have been May. I started implementing a year ago, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a year ago, and then how much? So the 47 deals that you did was from the previous May to last May, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and then you've done 77 since last May to this May, or right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So in May, you just start implementing. What did you start stepping us through? What you implemented first? How long did it take you? What were the results that you've seen? And kind of step us along that path of, just sharing your story of what you started doing and the results you were getting.
Yeah, I believe the first thing I started using would have been the famous 15, just because it was the easiest thing to get going. So I just started organizing my buyers with that, which was great. That I just.
Yeah. So what's the famous? For those that don't know, what's the famous 15? How do you? How long did it take you to implement? What did it do for you? What is it? What did it do for you?
Yeah, that one didn't take long to implement. It's pretty straightforward. So basically, just organizing my buyers from the best to the worst, and then just with notes and their timing, their motivation up front on a spreadsheet that you focus on a daily basis. So I have 2 dual screens in my office, so I just open that one up every day and have it sitting there, and I just kind of go through the 15 buyers, and Bob has it down to just focusing on 15 and selling those 15 houses instead of having any more, because lack of focus if it's any more. So it was just great for organizing, researching properties for your top ones, and just organizing, right?
Yeah. So prioritizing them and focusing on the ones that were worth your focus, and getting those homes sold. And then what was after the? So you put the famous 15 in. You got organized. You got more focused on the buy side. What was the next thing that you worked on?
The next one was the listing presentation. I started using that, going out to, first it started with just some referral. First one I remember was a referral I got. And I went out, listed it with the listing presentation. They were blown away. That one I didn't list. I went to that house. He was blown away. His brother had a house to sell, and it was on the market for 3 months with another agent. And he said, "I'm gonna get my brother to call you. You need to talk to him." Because this guy, the guy I went to, he ended up renting his house for whatever reason. But I went and listed his brother's house and sold it within a month. So I got a listing from another agent that couldn't do it. And then I listed a house across the street, and it just kind of snowballed with my listing presentation, right?
All right, so a couple things here. Let's just share, because everybody's always curious of how, where people are getting their, business. So, before the 47 deals, kind of where were those coming from? And then you can kind of share, kind of go over how things are kind of snowballing and turning clients into other deals and stuff like that. So before, you're working by, and also share with us, when you had the 47 deals, did you have anybody on your team?
No, I didn't have anybody on my team with that 47. So those were...
Did you have an admin?
Admin, yeah, that's it. I've had the same admin girl for 5 years now. So
all right, so you were a single agent with an admin. You did 47 deals. Where did your business come from?
My business came from 80% internet, 20% probably referrals, and those were mostly listings.
Okay, great. All right. So I just want to make it clear okay, you settled 47, one all by yourself, which is, you must have been working 15 hours a day.
Yeah, lots of running.
Lots of running. And if you got 80%, and if you got 80% internet leads, you did a lot of chasing.
Yeah, lots of phone calls, right? A lot of chasing and whatever, right? Yes. So.
And then how long did it take you to quote, implement, or be able to use the listing presentation in your business?
How long did it take? So I started that in May as well, right? So, it took me 4 months to finally get going with it. But I never did, and still to this day, I've changed a few photos, but that's why it took me so long. Well, I got to get photos, the right photos for this, the right photos for that. And I still have Bob's photos in there, like pictures of Bob at his desk and his team, right, in front of his office. And I still do. I just say, yeah, this is my real estate coach, but I just do exactly the same thing as he does, right? So, and it's still the same. So I haven't really changed much with that. So
yeah, let's clarify, Sean, because there's just a little bit confused. What Kyle was referring to, taking 4 months, it didn't take him 4 months to put the listing presentation together. He was kind of fighting it and always had an excuse. Well, I got to do this. I got to get this photo changed. And that was before I threatened to fire him because he had these excuses. And then finally I said, just go and do the listing presentation, show it to somebody. And that's what you did, right, with great success. Yes. I remember you texting me saying, I didn't get the listing, but he was so blown away, I got his brother's, I'm meeting with his brother or whatever. I think that's what happened, right, Kyle?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, I've always I kind of figured out how to get buyers, but I always wanted to know, how do I get listings, right? And then I was kind of blown away the first time I used the listing presentation, and I could see how it was getting me more listings.
It was helping get the business for you?
Yes, that's right.
And so you start using the listing presentation, you start seeing that people, appreciate a good listing presentation, they appreciate good marketing, they like how it's organized, stuff like that. What did it do? What else did it do anything, else for you?
The listing presentation, you're saying?
Being able to go into a listing presentation and have something that you can just kind of walk through and help differentiate yourself from the competition, and everything's right there.
Yeah, I had certainty. Every time I go into a listing presentation, I have absolute certainty with the stuff I have that I'm going to walk in and I'm going to get that listing presentation because nobody else does anything I do. So I just confidence, right? And I just And it's amazing to everybody, right? Like to any of the sellers I go to, they're amazed, and I just tell them what I charge, and it's more than everybody else. And okay, sure, So.
Yeah, I think it's important that Kyle was the one that really pointed this out to me a while back, and we've kind of incorporated it into coaching and how I discuss this with other coaching members is that, the listing presentation was able to give Kyle a tremendous amount of confidence. And there is no way he's going on a listing appointment. I don't think he's lost one since. Going in the listing appointment and not getting it. He is so confident now, and before he kind of winged it, right, Kyle? You were kind of just winging it. You had a presentation you weren't really using. Is that not correct?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just reading some of Kyle's notes in my management system here, so as I'm trying to listen to this great hangout. So, one of the things I see here is he was kind of stuck with a presentation he didn't believe in, and wasn't sure if people would even work with him. The other note I had from when we first started talking was it says that they were always negotiating his commission and everything else, and that's all gone away, hasn't it, Kyle? That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so my old listing presentation, I didn't think it was great myself, so of course I never used it that much, and if I don't think it's great myself, then nobody else is going to think it's great, right? I didn't do anything different than anybody else, and it was kind of a waste of time.
Tony Robbins always says, whoever is more confident will always influence the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So if the sellers are more confident than you,
yeah,
you're in trouble. And I got reminded today, Kyle. This is a good one. One of my colleagues said, I'm in the same, like everything's got to be perfect, and she's like, perfect is the enemy of profit.
Yeah.
So, so don't wait till everything's perfect. Just go and then use it and make it perfect, later.
Yeah, that was always my biggest problem. Was like, well, I have to get this before I implement that, and everything's got to be perfect. But then finally, I just started doing it. No more excuses, right? And I've had that over my career. The last 8 years, there's so many times where that's it. I've had it. No more, and I just start taking steps, right? And this was one of them
What did you do after? Now you got the listing presentation. Now you're going into appointments with confidence. Now you're able to demonstrate additional value.
Mm-hmm.
Start telling us how, now that you have something that shows why you're worth more, tell us how you're receiving more in terms of income per sale.
Yeah. So for one thing, I'm charging 1% higher for commission. Our commission structure is a little different here. We charge 6% for the first 100,000 and 3% remaining balance. We're the only one in North America that does that. I don't know why, but now I charge 7 and 3. So for every listing, I get 7 and 3. And I guess lots of signage too. I love signs, right? So on the front lawn, I copied Bob's open house every day signs. I call it showings daily, though I'm kind of doing both, testing them, either or, but showings daily, call or text for times. So I'm getting a lot of leads from that as well, just from the signage, text message sign writers, and I have a lender sign out front as well. And then I'm doing premier showings. First weekend they're listed. I have a premier showing for 24 hours. Before the premier showing, I put about 20 signs out in the neighborhood pointing to that house, which is, I love putting the signs out everywhere, and everybody's getting, and I'm getting noticed.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm getting tons of listings in the neighborhood. And even on Facebook, I don't even realize this, but there was on this thing, I talked to my dad the other day, and he said, did you see that comment about you on Facebook on this buy and sell site that there is on Facebook for our city? And I said, no, I never seen that, but somebody was asking if they knew of a realtor, and this one lady, never heard of her, commented, call Kyle Micklejohn. He sold 2 houses in my neighborhood in the last month, within a month, and in the last month. So, people that don't even know me are saying, call Kyle Micklejohn, right? Because they're just seeing the signage everywhere.
And they're seeing you on Facebook, right?
Yeah, and working, yeah.
So basically, they're out driving around, they see your signs everywhere, and then they go on Facebook, and then they see you everywhere on Facebook, and it's like, man, everywhere I go, there's that Kyle guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So then you started generating some more leads from your listings, right? So we upped your income per sale has gone up.
And And how much has it gone up? It's like $1,000 every sale, right, Kyle?
Yeah, $1,000 every sale. So, yeah.
Think about that, Sean. That's a lot, as you know.
I think
$1,000 every sale. So last year was 40. A year before you really started implementing our stuff, 47 transactions. This year, 77 transactions. So that's, think of the amount of money. That's $77,000 more that you would have lost, that you would have missed out on.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
it can pay for a lot of things to help grow your business. That's for sure. All right, so now we're doing premier showings. We're doing everyday open house. You're starting to generate a lot more exposure and lead generation from your listings, right? And then kind of what came next? Are you in need of some additional, help with those extra leads? Like what's the next step after the income per sale and the listing lead generation?
Okay, so next step was in about September, I hired my first buyer specialist. December, I hired my second one, and last week I hired my third buyer specialist. So, I believe, they're out showing houses all the time. They're busy with my leads I have right now. So I have 3 buyer specialists to this point. All this within, less than a year, really, right? That I've hired 3 buyer specialists and kept them running, and
that's 8 months. 8 months.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that, right? So you go from a single agent with an admin, and now you're bringing on salespeople onto the team in the buyer's agent role to be able to, obviously leverage other people's time and energy and resources. And I think this is a big challenge that, a lot of people have. When you are growing a team, you have to, recruit and hire and train and manage and lead and motivate other people, right? Mm-hmm. We know how hard it is to manage and motivate ourselves, right? So it's like, walk us through how you've been able to add people to your team and then get them producing, right? That's another thing. It's like, okay, I got these people now on a team. Now how do I get them producing and still not have it take all of my time? So just share with us your experience of adding those buyer's agents.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to go back to maybe why it took me so long to get to these buyer specialists too. Just mindset stuff. I think it took me so long to get serious about building a team because I'm stuck in my head about thinking that I don't know if I could handle hiring and training people. Can I be a leader? On and on. These doubts, I guess, right? Fear of success, probably. And fear of failing, right? If I did get these people, will I be able to keep them busy, happy? Then I did it, and I've hired these people, or these buyer specialists. What I've realized that I love training them. I love the training part because I have Bob's 16-week boot camp. There's always something to talk about and learn. There's always something for everybody to learn and grow. And it's been fun. That's the fun part of my business now is building the systems that I get given to me from Bob, and training and empowering the rest of my buyer specialists. Every week we have something to talk about, and it's good stuff that we're learning and growing with. And they're always out working. I'm keeping them busy all the time because I'm doing the premier showing. So every Saturday there's a premier showing. They're out premier showing, meeting buyers and sellers, and there's always something for them to do, right?
So these buyers specialists. So your first one you said came on in September, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So that was about 8 months ago. How has she done? Like, how long did it take her to close the deal? How many deals has she closed?
Mm-hmm. So the story with her, she was with another franchise brokerage that's out of Canada here, a big one, where I was at previous to, in this last year and a half too. I've started my own brokerage as well, right? I've left the big franchise and whatever. She was at the different brokerage than mine, but same franchise. she was about to get out of the business. Hadn't sold a house in 10 months. Just tired of struggling with the business, and I ran into her and heard her story and told her she should come work for me. And she said, "Nope, done with real estate, hate it." 2 days later, she phoned me. "Okay, you're my last resort. Let's sit down and talk." Okay, so I went through the listing presentation with her. That's what I do with my buyer specialists. I just go through the listing presentation with them to show them what my business does. She said, "Okay, I'll come to work for you." Within the first month, I believe. Sorry, I didn't get these numbers together for
That's
this.
all right.
But she sold 5 houses within 6 weeks of starting with me. Yeah. So she loves me, right? So it's within 6 weeks she was selling. She sold 5 houses or so, and she's continuing on. She's always selling. She probably does four deals herself a month. And yeah, she's loving it. She loves the structure. She loves the team. She's happy to come to work. And she always tells people that I was her savior, right? So, And then my second one, I hired her in December. I met her at one of my premier showings, actually. No, sorry, not premier showing. I showed her a house in this neighborhood. She was with another team, and she quit 2 years ago. She just didn't like it, right? Didn't like there was no support, didn't like the team, didn't like real estate, whatever. Then she came to work. I showed her house. I talked her into getting back into real estate. She came to work for me. Same story. I believe she sold 5 houses the first month. She's been with me 5 months, and she's sold something like just over 15 houses in 5 months of working for me, basically starting out as a brand new agent. She only worked in the industry for 2 months before that, right? So, and she just loves it too. So
that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you have, all right, so now you got buyer's aids coming on, and they're getting productive right away.
Yeah.
And where's their business? And their business is coming from the premier showings, the everyday open house, the signs. Your listings are generating their business.
That's correct. Yes.
So where are you getting listings from? Because it sounds like, and you don't work with buyers anymore, right?
That's right. No buyers at all.
So where are the listings coming from to be able to feed the rest of the team?
Yeah. So listings, referrals. From doing the listing presentation, them getting me listings because they're bragging up me and my team. Referrals from listings that I already have. People see me on Facebook. Bob's Expired program, Bob's FSBO program. Science.
So you said before that the previous year you were 80% internet, 20% referrals.
Yeah.
Where are you now in terms of where your business comes from?
Well, it's probably 50-50. For referrals and for internet.
You get a lot of sign calls, Kyle. You get a lot of sign calls, a lot for premier showings, everything else. You're not doing a lot on internet anymore.
No, not really. No, like for instance, one listing I had, I believe that one accounts for 7 deals, and that's from my premier showing. That's from my open house everyday sign or showings daily sign. That one listing accounted for seven deals.
So what you're saying is, because of the way you're marketing your listings and selling your houses and showing everybody what a great job you do, it's turning into other business.
Yeah, that's right. So from that one listing, I just thinking this one off the top of my head, we got 5 buyers from it and 3 listings from one premier showing. And the 3 listings were from people that came through the premier showing. And then the rest were from sign calls.
Yeah, we talked the other day, somebody came to me and said, what's the quickest way to, double my business? I'd tell them to take every client that they service and turn that into another piece of business.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
and it sounds exactly like
right.
Yeah, you're taking business and turning it into more business, which is
Yeah.
a whole lot less stressful and easier to do than chasing down all the internet leads all day.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm kind of I had to shift my thinking too with that, right? Because when I got into the business, it was all internet, right? But now I'm kind of seeing it's kind of really back to the basics, right? Signage, increase your sign calls, right? And that's what we did with the open house every day, or Bob did, right? And I love it. So I blew that sign up. I always had it as a hanger, hanging from my yard sign. So I just blew that sign up 2 months ago, and it made it way bigger so I can increase my sign calls. And it's worked. And I put it in the descriptions: showings daily or open house every day, call for times. And I have people calling me on that. Oh, when's the open house, or when's the showings? Whenever you want, right? And it's just,
when would you like them to be?
yeah, exactly. So that increased it a lot, right? Just that one thing. The lender signs too. Text message sign writers. We get probably 2 to 3 leads off that for every listing as well.
All right. So
Hey,
just to
Sean,
yeah.
Sean, real quick, one thing I again just kind of glimpsing at Kyle's notes, and one thing I noticed is he said that he's finding that his listings are selling much faster now using the things that are the tools that he has and that are in the presentation, because he changed the way he does business. That's probably a good point, that your listings aren't sitting anymore, are they, Kyle?
No. Of course, there's some that are sitting there for whatever reasons, but no, there's I'm getting surprised all the time, and I just did last week again. I kind of, I thought this house we listed was maybe a little high, but with all the tools and stuff that I use with the, professional photos and the signage, the premium showings, we're getting so many people through so fast that it's creating a demand. And I'm actually selling houses $5-10 grand higher than I expect. I've noticed that a lot over the last year, and they're selling fast, and within from 9 hours to a day to 3 days to whatever, a week, right? And it's even surprised. It's just, I'm still surprised with a lot of it, and it's a year later. I just got surprised, last week with another one. It's just, so it just.
So what do you doing to get kind of quick sale pricing? Because it sounds like, we can all go out there and list any homes, but we want to be in the business of selling homes, not listing them, right?
Yeah.
And the faster they sell, the faster we get paid, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to get those quick sale prices?
Well, I guess first, of course, it's always pricing is always important. I guess this one I'm thinking of, we did, Bob's taught me about price bracketing too. Instead of pricing a house at $299.9, we're pricing it say $300, because then the people that search 2 to 300, they're in there, and then the 300 to 400 people aren't missing it by $100. So we're getting a little more out there with on the internet and stuff. And this particular house, I wanted to list it under 300, but we went 300 and used the price bracketing, and sold it in 3 days for $295. Using any professional photos, right? Professional photos brought in, extra buyers, the brochures, and I did a premiere showing on that home as well, within 2 days of listing it. So.
All right. So let's just recap. So you've grown your team with 3 agents. You've grown and been able to successfully bring on agents and get them producing right away without sucking up all your time.
Yeah.
You've increased your income per sale. You've moved from buyers and sellers to just sellers. You've moved from turning business into more business versus going out and buying more internet leads and chasing people down.
Yes.
Your referrals have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Your offline leads or signed leads have gone up, which has been able to fuel, keeping your hungry buyers agents, fed, so to speak.
Yeah.
And kind of where are you going from here? Like, what's the future? Like, you've done how many deals have you done in the first 5 months this year, and then what's your um, projected for 2015?
Okay, so I think we're well, right now we're at 35 deals plus 3 pending. Um, you know, you know, my goal for the year with us, the four of us, is 140. 35, it's great, but I not good enough for me. But I'm just so when I spent a lot of the year not focusing on my listings. So a lot of stuff is implemented. So for me, I'm starting to focus on more listings to bring in more buyers. So the rest of the year, I guess, is for me is to focus on more buyers, or sorry, listings for me. Plus, I want to have 2 more agents by the end of this year, and I want to have 10 agents by the end of next year, right? And I see light at the end of the tunnel with all of this. With what I'm doing, maybe 10 is a little aggressive, but I'm gonna head that way anyways.
Well, if
right?
you get 9, it's okay.
Yeah, and
It'll be okay.
Yeah. So, and then then it's on. It's just there's so many pillars. I feel like a complete business is what what it is now, is because we're getting leads from so many multiple pillars with Bob's tools, like with the physical kit that expires, the premier showings, and the open house every day, and we're focused, with the famous 15 and the boot camp training. It feels great. I guess it's just, the sky's the limit, I guess, is what, to answer that question. Where am I going? I want to, 500 deals a year is my ultimate goal. And I see it as being realistic.
So it sounds like what I heard you say there is you kind of went from a single agent just grinding out deals, because if you're doing 47 deals all by yourself, you're working like a maniac.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's chasing down internet leads. That's what we call the grind.
Yeah, exactly.
Rise and grind.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't do it forever. But you've shifted from the grind to building a business.
Yes.
And looking at this as a business and becoming a business owner.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm less stressed out now than ever before. It's just because I guess going the way I want to go, the way the system is, I'm making more money than I was running around. I'm enjoying having the team, but and I have been bored actually, because I'm not running around like I used to be, but so I gotta I'm just I'm implementing my listing inventory now, which is great. So but yeah, it's just.
And we had met, I think it was 2 months ago. We met in Pittsburgh at Bob's event, and share with us kind of what you learned at the event, what your takeaways were, and then what you've implemented since, and kind of what results you've seen.
Yeah. Okay. So from takeaway, one of them would have been the A-frame, the 4-foot A-frame, just listed signs. So as soon as you list a house, throw that A-frame out there. Stands out. And we use that for premier showings as well. I guess so. I took away some signage, which I love it, and I bought that right away. 2 of them after, and I love it. It stands right out. People can see this new just listed house with that A-frame. I took away some, I guess, get marketing a home before it hits the MLS. While the professional photos are getting done, while they're cleaning the house up, right? Get a hot. I put a sign, hot new listing coming soon sign, yard sign, and the just listed A-frame, up there on the house, and then I start marketing it on Facebook.
So you're doing coming soon marketing on Facebook?
Yes. Yeah. Coming soon marketing on Facebook, just with a countdown to when the house will be on the market, and then marketing the premier showing right after that, right? So, those are a couple of things, little things that I came back and implemented right away, and I've gotten great results from that too, right? And I believe, the open house every day or the showings daily signs I think that's where I got, okay, I'm gonna blow those signs up and put them on the front yards too for more sign calls as well.
Yeah,
Great.
Sean, I think it's really important to note, I'm looking over, I just pulled up some more notes from that workshop, and we had workshop implementation priorities, what Kyle was going to work on.
Oh, yeah.
And the things he just mentioned, he had said he was going to work on, and, more power to him. That's what it really takes. It takes action. And Kyle did that. There's me on the other end kind of, helping keep him accountable. In other words, that he's going to actually get those things done. The A-frame signs and the lender signs she has. He committed to buyer and waiting, and I think he even has the black book now he put in place.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kyle went and took action, which Sean, is the real key here, right? You've got to take action. So he stuck to it, but he also had me on the other end saying, hey, did you do this? You committed to doing this. Did you do it? And I think that helps, right, Kyle? That kind of keeps you.
Here's my black book of buyers, so which I got from that too. Yeah, I forgot there's so much stuff I took away from that. I just forget, all the little things that I did, right? And
you have it in your business now, though, right? You have it in your business.
Yeah. This is equity evaluation too, same thing, right? And then here's my home seller guide. I'll show everybody that as well. I've had that, for probably a year now. That I love having this with my branding on it. It's something to give to people, in the 75-point checklist. It just feels great to have all these tools just to hand to people.
And the clients like it too, right?
Yeah, sellers love it. It lays around in their house, and nobody else has that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay, cool. So sounds like you've, like Bob said, it takes, action. I tell people, it's like, well, I can go to the gym and get a personal trainer, but if he does the bicep curls for me, my biceps aren't going to get any bigger. We got to be the ones taking action and lifting the weights, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, well, it sounds like you're exactly where you want to be, and you're full, but you're still hungry.
Yeah, I'm on track, right?
Yeah, you're doing excellent, but it's still like focused on growth and how do I get myself out of working with clients and just run this thing like a true business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Kyle. Well, I know everybody's time is valuable, and I appreciate you sharing your story and some of the things that you've implemented. What would you tell people out there? What's like an implementation nugget? What's like a piece of advice that you recommend to people, looking to grow their real estate business?
I guess just sit down and just implement the stuff. Just do it. I know I had, again, I had hesitations towards doing it, or fears, I guess, fears of, like I said, of building a team. Can I handle it? Just go for it. And obviously, if you're watching this video, you want to do that. And you just got to do it and start implementing. Sit down, write down what you want to implement that day, and just work at it every single day. Just write down what you want to do. And that's when I really noticed. I just started writing down what I wanted to work on and implement, and I just started doing it, and and I did it. And once I got it, I just saw the results, and that's what you got to just do it.
Then you want to do more.
Yeah, you want to do more, and you're amazed. Oh, wow, this actually, people like this, right? And it's like, and then all of a sudden, you start seeing the results, and then, and it's just amazing. It's just do it, right? And and I've been there where, I didn't do things for whatever mindset things that hold you back, but once you do it, it's just the greatest feeling, and it's then you get the confidence, and things snowball from there.
Well, congratulations on your success, and I'm excited to see how quickly you get to where you ultimately want to be. So, Bob, why don't you take us out here? Why don't you share with the people?
So first off, I think Sean and Callie, I kept on hearing and listening to Cal, and he's really a business owner now. He's really taking grasp of these things and, you know, changing the programs to fit his needs. I love he keeps on saying showings daily rather than everyday open house, which I'm all for. I think if something's more congruent or feels better for you or works better, then use it. But I think everybody needs to understand the evolution of that is that Cal's really a business owner now. He's thinking differently. He's running his business differently. And he has the systems and the processes in place. And really, that's what I kind of bring to the table is the systems. Okay, here are the systems to follow. And you could hear when he said that, it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot I had that, and I forgot I had that. He has them all in his business. They're part of his system, but he's not running around crazy anymore doing them. You know, nor is buyer specialist running around crazy. You know, it's a business. They're very structured with what they need to do. And then I am able to be there to help Kyle with his action steps. Is he taking actions? To be that sounding board, you know, am I doing this right? You know, that coach, that person to just help you with the weekly objectives and the quarterly objectives and the annual objectives and so forth. So I think we all need that. Well, I know we all need that. And the thing that Kyle did that's unique is that it's really simple in that he took action. You know, finally, when that May of last year, and I said, that's enough, Kyle, I'm firing you. I just can't do this anymore. And he said, okay, I'm taking action. And he started taking action right away. And boy, it snowballed. He was fearful of that at first, but you know, he would say, I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't feel confident about my business. And now it's totally opposite. If anybody watches this video, it's totally opposite. He's calm. I mean, This isn't Kyle. When I look back at my notes, it's just, this isn't the Kyle that I talked to a year ago. And I'm very proud of what he's done. And, you know, we all need to understand that we can do the same exact thing. It can be done. Kyle has shown that it can be done. But you have to have the systems, and you have to have the coaching, the constant support to make it happen. And look, what are the results that he's getting? He's making more money every single transaction. Wow. He's doing more transactions. He's working less hours. Okay, and he has extreme confidence in his business. So everybody can accomplish that same thing. And you know, Kyle, Sean, I know you both agree that action is really all this is about. He took action. So those of you that are watching this and are wondering, you know, can I do what Kyle did? Yes, you can. Okay, so you can just go to a very simple link that we're going to put below this video, and it's 2x yourbusiness.info. Okay, 2xyourbusiness.info, and you can sign up for a business strategy session with me. You'll get to see my calendar and so forth, and pick a day and time that's convenient to you for us to talk about your business. Where are you now, and where do you want to go? Because reading Cal's notes, I'll just tell you. Cal's like, well, I know where I am now, and I don't want to continue down this. I've been in this business for 7 years, and I'm frustrated. I keep on doing the same thing. So I want to figure out with each and every one of you, where are you now, and then where do you want to go, and then let's get you on that path. Let's get you the systems in place, because part of the calmness that Kyle has now are the systems. Correct, Kyle? That's really one of the things that you're so calm about.
Yeah, I got the systems implemented. Everything's just running smoothly and great and behind the scenes, and yeah, it's just been running amazing. So
yeah, but it wasn't all simple and everything else. You put some good work into this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you put some strong effort into getting this all done, and have done a great job with that. So I don't want anybody to think it's a get-rich-quick scheme or whatever. You've put some work in, you took action, but look at you now. It's totally different.
Yes.
You know? So again, it's 2xyourbusiness.info. Sean, I really appreciate you. The one thing I took away, and I wrote this down, and I hope everybody writes this down too. So perfect is the enemy of profit. I love that, Sean. So thank you for sharing. I always learn something every time I get Sean on the phone, and also Kyle. So thank you both for a great hangout today. I really appreciate you both. And again, anybody who would like to just talk with me, you know, it's 2xyourbusiness.info, and I'll look forward to helping you grow your your agent transaction count or your current business into a real business, into a larger business and a profitable business. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you and your time.
All right, everybody. We'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks. See you guys.
Thanks, Kyle.
See ya. Bye.